The realm not only has the dragon-blooded host on its side, but also has the lion's share of creation's first-age technology and weapons at its disposal. Some of this weaponry takes the form of personal equipment. The terrestrial Exalted are always well armed and armored, with jade steel diclaves and buff coats with jade steel plates. Some of this personal armament is of recent construction, but many pieces of the dragon-blooded host's personal equipment are heirlooms and weapons passed down from ancient times. The house units and Imperial legions, while not equipped with jade steel weapons, are no less fearsomely armed. The Imperial legions train with shields, halberds, and straight swords for close combat, and they travel with companies of trained engineers who can construct siege weapons for them on short notice. Each legion is expected to have a sorcerer or two in its officer corps as well, to augment the power of the actual soldiers. Each house unit tends to be differently armed and armored according to its preferences, but some sort of armor, polearm, and sword are common, so that the house talons and legions can be trained using the Imperial Army's military manual. The 1,000 Correct Actions. One of the tools of the realm's military might is the famous book, The 1,000 Correct Actions of the Upright Soldier, usually ascribed either to Hesiesh, the Immaculate Dragon of Fire, or to Mela, the Immaculate Dragon of Air. The book details 1,000 ways a commander can husband the strength of his troops and to make use of their discipline at exactly the right moment. Espionage, small unit tactics, individual training exercises, and encampment procedures are all detailed carefully. Senior officers carry the complete manual, while the junior ranks carry heavily abridged versions. If correctly copied, the book contains a number of encoded charms and sorceries specifically of use to military officers and their armies. A similar manual for the use of ship captains and admirals also exists. Since the Empress's disappearance and the houses took over the sponsorship of the legions, this field manual has fallen into disrepute. Old outcasts and even dynastic officers regard this as a terrible waste and a disregard for tradition, for they know that an army trained according to the 1,000 Correct Actions is nearly invincible in warfare. The Imperial Manse. The realm's senior leadership today is greatly worried over its inability to access one of the most important military resources in the realm, the Imperial Manse. Located at the center of the Imperial Palace and surrounded by a vast garden, this huge and squat but opulent building is decorated with orichalcum and marble. Its single door is a slab of black jade. Within the Imperial Manse are the controls that coordinate the operation of the War Manses of the Imperial Defense Grid, as if they were a single entity, and it also contains the first-age mechanisms that made the Empress the equal of the shoguns before her. The Imperial Manse gave the Scarlet Empress the power to destroy the hordes of fair folk who had invaded creation, and to rain down fire on the rebellious cities of the Threshold and the Blessed Isle. It also allowed her to project her image to every village, town, and city in the realm when she chose. No one among the realm's current leaders has any idea how to get inside it, much less how the manse works. It is known that the Empress entered with several companions more than 700 years ago, and that she alone survived the deadly traps and dangers within. In all that time, no other mortal or dragonblood has ever entered and returned. While a number of sorcerers have been studying the manse, the great houses have mounted a number of security precautions to keep anyone from slipping inside. Everyone knows that whoever emerges from that manse, knowing its secrets and its powers, will be the next emperor or empress by default. The War Manses. Standing at over 200 known locations, and at as many as 100 more secret locations around the Blessed Isle, on positions of geomantic importance, are the War Manses, which tap the essence of the Blessed Isle itself and funnel that power to essence weapons of superior force and destructive capabilities. The War Manses are nearly all squat, forbidding towers, with 4 or more vicious jade steel spikes rising from their roofs. Some of them shoot bolts of flame, while others stir up tornadoes and waterspouts, and still others cause localized earthquakes. The War Manses can be controlled in 2 different ways. A crew of Dragonbloods attuned to the Manse can operate the controls of these weapons while within the Manse, and direct their weapons upon a nearby region of land, sky, or sea. The Manses can also be controlled by the engines of the Imperial Manse, and directed by a single intelligence within that Manse against targets all over creation. It was the Empress's pleasure to gift command and operation of the War Manses to outcast officers in the military, and to dynasts who lacked other nearby properties, but possessed rivals in the area. In this way, the army watched over the dynasts, and the dynasts watched over each other, and the War Manses were always carefully guarded from unauthorized visits. Today, the War Manses are watched even more closely, and the great houses are likely targeting them for capture or destruction as part of the opening phases of a civil war. While the realm stands, they are too important to use, but when it falls, they will be too important to let stand. No one has a clear idea of how to disconnect the War Manses from the overarching control of the Imperial Manse, and this has dire implications for any future conflict. The Imperial Navy. While the War Manses serve as stationary fortresses throughout the realm, and act as the inner wall of the realm's defenses, the main line of the realm's defense is the Imperial Navy. Largely commanded by House Pelops, the Navy consists not only of modern ships built in the yards of the Blessed Isle's ports, but also a number of older vessels, ranging from armed catamarans and trimarans to first-age battle hulks that do not need sails, but move over the sea with deadly grace and carry their own energy weapons. The Navy maintains an aggressive watch on the coasts of the Blessed Isle, and it stops and boards ships regularly to search for contraband. Lord High Admiral Pelops Shorogan has overall command of the 5 Pelops fleets and tactical control of the merchant fleet as well. Fleet Admiral Pelops Erelin, the Sea Witch, commands the Earth Fleet and patrols the coast of the Blessed Isle from the naval shipyards of Dragon's Mouth. The city of Noble is home to the Fire Fleet, under Fleet Admiral Pelops Lundair. The Fire Fleet patrols the southern quadrant of the inland sea. The Water Fleet, under Fleet Admiral Ladal Kalin, and based at Port Wavehold across from the Eye of Creation, guards the western quadrant. The Air Fleet sails from Canos and operates in the northern quadrant under Fleet Admiral Regara Feria. The Wood Fleet sails from Stoya and guards the eastern quadrant. The air and water fleets are traditionally the most powerful, but a strategic shift of naval resources is underway, with additional powers being placed into the earth and wood fleets at the expense of the air and water ones. Some see this as the realms tightening into a defensive posture in a time of weakness. Others see House Pelops making a bid to choke the realm in the event of a civil war, as the 2 looted fleets are both in command of admirals not of House Pelops. A merchant fleet commanded by House Vanif controls landing and unloading rights and runs piloting services through the dangerous shoals off the shore. The merchant fleet uses Arjuf as its base and conducts operations in the inland sea. There is much rivalry between the Imperial Navy and the merchant fleet, but the balance of power is heavily in favor of the Imperial Navy, which has all of the First Age ships, most of the best trained officers and sailors, and many of the best weapons. War machines. Though rarely seen, the last major weapon group in the realm's arsenal is a wide variety of war machines. Some of these devices are called war striders, enormous hulking beasts constructed of metal and jade, which shoot fire from their nostrils, or hurl exploding stones with their hands, or shoot lances of light from their horns or eyes. Not only does the realm have these weapons of war in its arsenal, but it also has the dragon-blooded individuals necessary to power them and bring them to bear against the realm's foes. In addition to these land-striding beasts of battle, the realm has a number of First-Age flying craft in operation too, which gives it control over the skies of the Blessed Isle and some parts of the Threshold. These First-Age weapons have wings like birds, or bats, or insects, and can shoot streams of blazing fire. Finally, there are the great paddle-wheeled warships of the First Age, invincible dreadnoughts whose energy weapons can defeat any number of modern wooden-hulled vessels.